It's Thursday, November 18th, 2021. A lot to talk about today, ladies and gentlemen. I want to start by telling you a couple stories, and this relates to this bizarre economy that we are witnessing. I was at an El Pollo Loco restaurant. If you're not familiar with it, it's a fast food broiled chicken joint. And I went there, got an order, a 4-piece chicken with 2 sides. And when I got home, the 2 small sides were in bowls like this big. Okay. Usually they're in a cup that big, and both sides came each in a bowl that big because they ran out of small cups at 8 o'clock in the evening. And I just thought that was really, really bizarre. And also, they had no shredded chicken. So if you wanted a chicken burrito, if you wanted a chicken salad, you couldn't get it because they had no shredded chicken at a chicken restaurant. And I just think that it's every day this is happening. I went to Jersey Mike's to get a sandwich today. I love Jersey Mike's. Service is always good. Sandwiches are always good. But I was there at 11:30 a.m. to get a sandwich. Sorry, no napkins. A sandwich joint, no napkins. Last night I was at a restaurant and we were ordering some short ribs and potatoes. And we're sitting there for about 35, 45 minutes, no appetizer, no dinner. And the waitress comes back and goes, "Oh, you didn't get your food?" And we're like, "No." And she's like, "Oh." She comes back a minute later and says, "Oh, I was just told that we're out of short ribs." Okay, so 45 minutes into this ordeal. So we have something else. Make a long story short, we're waiting to pay the bill, and she never even comes back. So anyways, the quality of service, the quality of food continues to just get worse and worse. And I just want to share that with you because people write me daily about these conditions at restaurants continuing to erode. And if you're in the restaurant business, especially if you're an owner, you better be very, very careful how you're treating your clientele, the quality of food, the portions. You know, I understand that we have inflation. I understand I have to pay more, but I'm paying more, getting less quality, getting less portions. And these people that take your order, the waiters, the waitresses, the people at the drive-thrus, you can tell that they just don't want to be there. Not saying every place. Jersey Mike's, I must say, always good. They always have a really good demeanor, a good attitude. But most places I go to, they don't want to be there. And you know they don't want to be there. And so if you're a restaurant owner, you better be paying close attention to your business, because I foresee that in 2022, we're going to see a flood of restaurants go belly up, gone. CNBC today, 88% of Americans are worried about inflation. Here's where they're going to cut back. The number one on that list, they're going to cut back by not going out to eat. They're going to cut back upgrading technology devices. So they're not going to be upgrading their phones and computers. They're going to cut back buying clothes. They're going to cut back traveling. So people are going to be forced to cut things out. And number one, it's going to be eating out. So if you're in the restaurant business, you better make sure you're hiring the right people, and you better make sure that you're giving them good quality food and service for their hard-earned money. Here's another one on CNBC. Jobless claims little changed in potential sign that layoffs hit a plateau. 268,000 Americans filed first-time jobless claims last week. That's the good news. They were estimating it to be 260. But think about this number. Every week now, it's 268, 260, 268, 270, whatever it is. It's over 1 million people a month filing first-time jobless claims. I don't see how this is sustainable. I don't see how this supports a recovery or an economy. Where is the recovery, ladies and gentlemen? How in the world can anybody say that the economy is strong, which I hear on the television every day? The economy is strong. The analysts, the economists tell us everything in this economy is strong. It's recovering, but we're losing over 1 million people a month filing first-time jobless claims. Here's another article today on The Hedge. Booming retail sales don't necessarily signal strong economy. Retail sales surged 1.7% in October, This was the great news that they were telling us on the television, the economists, the analysts. But there are two important factors you must consider. Number one, retail sales are not inflation adjusted. The data reflects the amount Americans spent on retail goods. So if a consumer buys 100 widgets at $1 per widget, and the next month the consumer buys 75 widgets, but the price inflates to $2 per widget, retail sales rise 50%. So think about that. People are having to spend more and they're getting less. And then it's being reported that this is great news because retail sales are surging. No, people are being forced now to spend more and get less. That's the reality of it. Second point you must keep in mind here, ladies and gentlemen, is consumer debt is rising. Americans might be spending, but they are putting it on plastic. Without stimulus checks, Americans are buying the old-fashioned way, and that's with credit cards. Higher prices and the absence of stimulus checks have forced people to borrow more to buy stuff that they cannot afford. Don't be fooled, ladies and gentlemen. Booming retail sales don't necessarily mean what they're telling you. In reality, it's just a predictable function of a post-crisis economic recovery based on stimulus and debt. Another article today on CNBC. Millions of people quit their jobs in the Great Resignation. You know, this really is the most bizarre economy in history. Now, why are people quitting their jobs? Is it health concerns? Is it low wages? Is it laziness? Is it because people have made $30 or $40 or $50,000 in cryptocurrencies and now they feel rich, and so they're moving back in with mom and dad, paying no rent with $30, $40, $50,000 in their bank account, and they just feel they don't have to go back to work? I don't know. Comment down below. Let me know what you think. But half of these resignations are in the service sector. 20% are in professional and business services. I do think that we're going to come to a point here in America where people are going to be forced to go back to these jobs. Low wage, service sector, whatever they may be. They're going to be forced to go back. But automation, technology, robotics are going to take a lot of these jobs. They're going to replace millions of these jobs. And what are people going to do when they are forced to go back to work and they can no longer find a job because it's been replaced by technology? Something that I think is coming. Look, ladies and gentlemen, people can only hang on so long. Maybe they save some of the stimmies, some of the benefit checks, some of the crypto money, but sooner or later, the majority of these people are going to be forced to go back to work. And there are not going to be 10 or 11 million jobs available, okay? And look, I know most of these jobs are low-paying service sector jobs, but when you're hungry, when you need money, you'll take any job you can get. But here we are right now in a society that would rather not work, that would rather sit back, wait for a check. It's bizarre. It really is. But again, these things are all going to come to a head, and these things are all going to end bad for millions of people. And right now, take advantage of the opportunity. If you can go out and work, make extra money, get a side hustle, 2 side hustles, 5 side hustles, whatever you can get, take it while you can get it, because you don't know what tomorrow is going to bring, what next week brings, what next year brings. Right now, you could be working some of these jobs that are not really, that low wage of a job, right? I mean, you can go to In-N-Out Hamburgers and make $20 an hour. McDonald's paying $18 an hour. Yes, inflation is up, but inflation is going to affect you a lot worse if you're sitting at home not making any money whatsoever. When you have no money coming in and you're just using up your stimmies or using up the rest of your benefit checks, this inflation is going to eat it up alive. If you're just sitting on your savings that you made on cryptos, this inflation will eat it up alive. Why not go out and get a side hustle, work a job, 2, 3, 5 jobs, whatever, and just be piling up cash right now, buying some assets and putting the odds in your favor. Kathy Wood sells nearly all of her Zillow holdings after flagging housing market concerns. $39 million of shares she recently sold. Another sign that this housing market, this inflated massive bubble, is beginning to cool off and air is coming out of the bubble. Now, what is going to be the pin that pricks this bubble? I don't know, but it is going to pop. And when it does, it is going to be a disaster here in America. But comment down below, is this another sign, in your opinion, of this housing bubble cooling off? I truly do believe it is. CNBC today, CVS to close about 900 stores over the next 3 years as it shifts to digital strategy. Going to be a lot more people without a job, going to be a lot more empty buildings, and it's going to be a lot less tax revenue for a lot of cities. 900 stores, CVS stores, going to close in the next 3 years. I mean, we are going to see so many vacant buildings in America. There's going to be so much vacant real estate here in America. Macy's, Kohl's soar on blowout earnings. Guidance as Americans flood department stores. This doesn't make sense whatsoever. But is this the effect of $3,600 a year per child? Is this the effect of $1,200 a month in EBT? Is this the effect of a part-time job bringing in $15,000 and the other government subsidies that people are relying on so they can go to Kohl's, so they can go to Macy's? But right here in the next article on CNBC, Macy's plans to announce 10 store closures in January while delaying other closures. They have already closed around 100 stores. They're talking about closing roughly 60 more stores out of the 125 stores that are remaining. They are planning on closing 60 more by 2023. But everything's good. But we're being told about blowout earnings, but they've already closed 100 stores, and they're talking about closing 10 in January and 60 more by 2023. But blowout earnings, ladies and gentlemen, again, 2 plus 2 doesn't equal 4 here. You can only have so many people on government subsidies and getting $300 a month per child shopping at Macy's to keep it alive. Starbucks, Amazon open cashierless store in Manhattan. Again, technology going to replace so many jobs. And maybe this is a good thing, because when I go through a drive-through, I go to a restaurant, when I go to a store, I gotta say, most people don't want to be there. They don't want to be working there. They do not want to serve you. The quality of service is just horrific. It really is. Let's be honest. Not everywhere. There are exceptions. Okay, there are some really good places that really do appreciate your money. There are people that appreciate their jobs. They appreciate your business. They're there. But for the most part, even when I went to the El Pollo Loco the other night, the service was not that good. And for the most part, most places, well over 50% of the places that I visit, service is not that great. So maybe it'll be better to deal with a robot. Maybe the quality of service will be better. Maybe they'll be able to, give you the correct change. Maybe they'll actually put the change in your hand first and then the cash, instead of putting the change on the cash and then giving it back to you like this through a drive-through. You know what I'm talking about, right? They put all the money on top of the dollar and then they hand it to you, and then you have to reach out your window and grab it, and it spills all over the place. And it's like, maybe the first day they trained you, they should have trained you correctly on how to give somebody change back. Put the change in the hand, they give you the dollar bills. So again, we're dealing with sometimes zombies here. I'm not trying to criticize anybody, but I'm just observing. But maybe the robot will give us the change back correctly. Maybe the robot will have a better attitude. Maybe the robot might even get the order correct. So big changes coming. And again, a lot of people out there not going to have a job down the road here because it will be replaced. Starbucks, Amazon, cashless stores in Manhattan. Just again, a sign of things to come. You look at robotics at these Amazon warehouses, robotics in the auto industry. When I shot that video at Walmart, self-checkout, 80%, 90% all self-checkout now. There was 2 human cashiers working there. So again, a sign of the times. Technology is going to replace so many jobs, and we have so many people coming to America who are going to have to work. So I don't know what this is going to look like 2, 3, 5 years down the road, but it's going to look a lot different than it does now. The number of Americans on the dole mysteriously jumps back above 3 million. This on the hedge. Look, I think that when it comes to unemployment, people working, not working, look, the books are cooked, ladies and gentlemen. I looked at shadowstats.com today, John Williams. Unemployment, he has it right now in October at 25.1%. We look at the biggest increase in jobless claims last week. It was right here in California. Over 6,400 people file first-time jobless claims. Pennsylvania, number 2 at 1,906. The biggest drop in jobless claims, interestingly enough, was Kentucky at 8,729. Tennessee, 4,148. Ohio, 3,536. These were drops in claims. Claims have dropped to the lowest level, but we just added 467 people to pandemic unemployment assistance. Is this odd, or what do you think? I think that, we're being told what's unemployment now. I can't even keep up with these numbers, 4.8%. But John Williams says it's 25.1%, and he's going back to the 1980s formula, the 1980s model, which is much more accurate than what they're using right now. The books are cooked, ladies and gentlemen. They manipulate so much. I think that if you believe unemployment is only 4.8%, when we just lost 4.4 million people quitting their jobs last month, 267,000 first-time jobless claims last week, do the math. Something certainly doesn't add up here. And the only way you can get these manipulated numbers is by cooking the books. I think that the U.S. debt is already well over $30 trillion, but they cook the books and tell us it's $29 trillion. How do we know it's not $40 or $50 trillion? Unfunded pensions. We don't even know how much these pensions are truly unfunded. Everything is cooked. When we look at the unfunded liabilities, Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, etc., what's the real number? I'm reading it's 170 trillion. But I've also seen it well over 200 trillion. So everything is so manipulated. The books are cooked. This is why we really have to pay close attention to what is happening. And very, very leery of what we're being told on the television. Again, you go out, you see the vacant buildings, you see the homeless people walking around. Your neighbors haven't been working in over a year. You see the prices. We're being told inflation is 5.4%, 5.6%. Real inflation, ladies and gentlemen, is 15% at least, and climbing. So careful what you're digesting right now, because they are leading so many people to a very, very bad place, because people are making life-altering decisions on bad data that they're being told every day on the television to be the truth. And people are investing in markets, they're buying real estate, all on this data that everything is improving, or that it's not that bad, or it's getting better, or it's going to get better, on fraudulent data, cooking of the books. People are making life decisions on the books that are cooked. And this is the data that they're being fed every day. I'm going to leave it there today. It's just another bizarre day in this economy, and the more bizarre it gets, the more you need to be preparing for it. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the day. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe, share this video all over your social media, and I look very, very forward to talking with all of you. Comment down below on anything you want to talk about. I can't thank you enough for commenting. So many people have woken up. So many people now know the truth of what's happening in this economy, because they're hearing it from you all over the country, all over the world. So you've helped so many people, and I want to thank every one of you for that. And I want to thank God for just everything He has blessed me with, and I thank God for everything He has blessed you with. And I thank God that we can, just talk about multiple ways to prepare right now. And I thank God that we're really awake to what's happening in this economy. The people who are not awake are going to be the people who pay the ultimate price, the people who suffer, the people whose family and kids will suffer, the people whose futures are going to be wiped out because they did not wake up. If you continue to be a zombie, you're going to pay the ultimate price. Wake up. so that you do not pay the ultimate price here. This economy is going down, ladies and gentlemen. It is going down every day right before your very eyes. And you're going to wake up one day and this thing is going to accelerate like a bowling ball being thrown out of a jetliner heading to Earth, okay? Things are going to fall much faster than the pace they went up. They are going to fall straight down so fast. It is going to mystify people. It is going to shock people how fast it happens. And they're going to get wiped out. They're going to get wiped out, ladies and gentlemen. Prepare, prepare, prepare.